Welcome to Politics News Wolf US channel. While the Russia-Ukraine war continued at full speed, Russia woke up with images from Krasnoyarsk. They are trying to slow Russia's war in Ukraine and say they are willing to escalate their violence. A fire broke out in a warehouse in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. The fire covered 8,000 square meters. Firefighters were called to the rescue. The warehouse and the building next to it collapsed. A fire train traveled from Bucha station to the emergency location. The Ministry of Emergency Situations of Russia stated that extinguishing is complicated due to the remote location of the water sources. A total of 82 people and 31 pieces of equipment took part in extinguishing the fire. The Ministry of Emergencies said there were no casualties. A large-scale fire broke out in Russia's border region of Bryansk. This was announced by Governor Alexander Boga. Tank filled with fuel caught fire in one of the oil depots. The incident occurred in the sewage district. Local media claimed that the fire started after the explosion. At the same time, local authorities refused to give the fire reached 4,000 square meters. The fire was reported to be under control. At the same time, a fire broke out in Perm at the city's largest terminal power plant. Huge clouds of smoke appear over the city. Hundreds of people were evacuated. Due to the emergency, electricity was cut in some areas. Previously, residents of Sulin were without electricity. The mainstream pipeline at the U.S. Sasin thermal power plant was damaged. The NES from Russia brought up to claim that the war in Ukraine has spread to the borders of the country. The country woke up with images from the city of Bryansk. A fire broke out in the full airport and military facility While the giant fire at the SBU fuel tank was seen all over the city, a confusing move came from the Russian authorities. The Ministry of Emergencies of Russia first published the details of the fire in the areas of the military facility on Mosovsky Street. Then retrieved this post. In the statement made later, the information that fires broke out in two different regions was confirmed, and it was stated that firefighters were dispatched to the regions at 2 a.m. local. This brought to the mind the possibility that these fires may have occurred after the Ukrainian attack. In the news in the British Daily Mail newspaper, it was claimed that 2 explosions occurred in the city. In the same news, it was stated that the second fire probably started in the 120th Arsenal of the main rocket and artillery directorate. There is no official statement yet about the cause of the fire in The distance from Bryansk to the Ukrainian border is about 160 kilometers. Ukrainian armed forces at the Azov-style factory in the city of Mariupol said that the attacks of Russian troops on the factory continued. Ukrainian officials stated that the humanitarian corridor planned to be implanted in the city did not take place due to the firing of Russian troops. Pope Francis also called for peace in his speech this week. Zelensky also touched upon relations with the European Union in a speech. The leader of Ukraine, which applied for EU membership, said that Australia's statement that Ukraine should not be a member of the EU relations should be developed in other ways, was a strategic and political short-sightedness. According to the new news, a fire broke out in the military warehouse located near the Russian Sea. Of explosions also occurred in the ammunition depot due to the fire. 14 villages in the surrounding area were evacuated. For an unknown reason, a fire broke out in a grassland in the western Russian city of Horizon. The fire soon reached the military warehouse. When the fire could not be distinguished in the first responders, the flames spread to the warehouse. The ammunition in the warehouse began to explode. Firefighters and paramedics were dispatched to the area. There was damage to the settlements. 14 religious were evacuated. After the incident, the surrounding houses were evacuated and approximately 1,600 people were evacuated to safe places. In the statement made by the regional governor's office, it was stated that the material damage occurred in the residential areas in the region after the explosion, and there was no loss of life so far. The attention of the world public was focused on the war in Ukraine, 2 separate fires, one of which resulted in a big explosion, and the Crimea, where approximately 2,000 people were evacuated during the day. The second incident that took place in the last week in Crimea, which was allegedly annexed by Russia in 2014, raised questions about whether the Ukrainian forces succeeded in hitting the peninsula. In the videos published on social media, smoke rising above the flames is seen while successive explosion sounds are heard in the back. The Russian-occupied Crimea consists of explosions in warehouses and the high risks of that for invaders and thieves. Seth Podunk, advisor to the Ukrainian presidential office. However, POD-OAC did not specify whether Ukraine was involved in the incident. In the statement made by the Russian Ministry of Defense on the subject, it was noted that a fire broke out in the area where the ammunition of a military unit was temporarily stored near the village of Masko in the Canary region of Crimea. It was stated that the ammunition exploded as a result of according to the Russian state news agency. In another incident this week in Kankure, a fire broke out at a substation after a loud crash regarding the incident at the Istik substation close to the village of Mask. The Russian Ministry of Energy shared the information that the fire was brought under control soon. It is not clear whether the fire in substation and the fire in the ammunition depot are related to each other. While Kiev gave the message that there will be chaos in the region from now on, Moscow reported that the ammunition temporarily stored in Crimea exploded. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that the military warehouse exploded as a result of sabotage. In the statement made by the ministry, the military warehouse near the Konko settlement was damaged as a result of sabotage. In the incident, the civilian infrastructure, power plant, railways, and civilian houses were damaged. In the statement, it was noted that necessary measures were taken to eliminate the consequences of sabotage. The Kankure region of Crimea is located in the north of the peninsula, approximately 50 kilometers from the Russian-controlled Kherson region in the south of Ukraine. In recent, Kiev has launched attacks on various points in the region, targeting the supply route and ammunition depots of the Russian army. The governor of Crimea, Sergei O, appointed by Russia, reported that 2 people were injured in the last incident, and local people were evacuated from the area due to the continued explosions of ammunition. Reported that some residences near the fire area were damaged, and about 2,000 people were evacuated near. Railway lines passing through Moscow were also damaged according to the Russian. AO also said that all train services will stop in the town of Lodi Sloka, about 90 kilometers south of My Square, and the passengers can continue their journey by buses. Last week, explosion took place at the Saki Air Base, again near the Crimea village of Novaka. The Russian army attribute to the explosions, to the accidental detonation of the but it was understood that the incident was a result of a Ukrainian attack. Kyiv reported that it destroyed 9 Russian aircraft in the explosions. The Kremlin demand from Ukraine to recognize Crimea as part of Russia is one of the main conditions it has put forward for ending the conflict. The Ukrainian side, on the other hand, states that it'll continue the war until they removed Russian from the peninsula as well as from all other occupied territories. Please do not forget. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications in order to be informed about new videos. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for watching the video. If you find it useful, please comment and share the video for us. It will make our channel more known. See you in the following videos. Thank you very much.